Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Flight Attendant, Season 2. And I'm surprised it's had a second season because, the setup of the first season seemed pretty contained. And then I'm like, what are they going to do in the second season? Well, they're going to, Cassie, played by, and Cassie, played by Kaley Cuoco, is going to be working with the CIA while being a flight attendant. And I'm like, that's weird. And I was a little like, this seems ridiculous to try to milk this for another season. And then it becomes like somebody's disguising themselves as her and murdering people around the world. It's just but why? And I'm just like, but why? So it was hard for me to get past that in terms of why this needed a second season and how they were making this about it. But to get into some of the positives, I do like the arc that Cassie goes on this season, really confronting her inner selves because she has those interactions with herself, and also her relationship with her mother. And I think that is a very emotional anchor in this season, and I think it adds some depth because it was a lot of processing her father in the first season and her alcoholism. And it's her trying to stay clean here, and I do appreciate that. You have Zosia Mamet, who plays Annie, her best friend, and, she and her partner get involved in, all the mystery and stuff like that, and they basically are, living high off of this thrill, and, they're a fun addition, and, I get, that's how they loop them into the story. And then you have these two other men who wind up getting looped into this season who are they love interests? Are they potential love interests? They're government men. Who are you supposed to trust? And I feel like that's a will they, won't they, or will they screw her over, won't screw her over? Are they good or are they bad? It's one of those kinds of things where it's this series is trying to loop in a lot of mystery, and you just have these two men who are are they what we perceive them to be? And they wind up being two big parts in this season. And I feel like this season spins its wheels a lot, the first 5 episodes or so, and then it starts to kick into gear because I think that's what this tells me is this didn't need to be 8 episodes. I feel like the story that they had was not fleshed out enough or complex enough or necessary for that whole entire time. And, that happens. And it's you don't have to have 8 episodes every season. Or, it could even been this first half of the season, have the second half of the season. Or, I feel we're past the point where we need to have these, rigid ideas of what television is. Just go with the flow with it. And, you don't have to have this many episodes. They do loop back at Megan Briscoe, Rosie Perez's character, who trying to get some redemption after what we find out about her in the first season, and care enough about that. But that just feels like a tacked on thing to add more meat to the series. And then in particular, there is one storyline that comes to a head at the end of this season that I was just okay, wasn't expecting this. Was this necessary, though? And, what the hell's going on here? Because the whole season's really focusing on who this, assassin is. And there's a couple of important, new characters that they loop into the series that it adds mystery, who these people are and how they really fit in. And, some of the new cast members, I'm not going to talk about it because there's enough mystery here and twists in this series to not want to give things away. And I feel they're good additions to this series with strong performances and interesting characters. I just felt this season felt overstretched. It felt it was really trying to justify itself. And already with a ridiculous premise of this flight attendant's yeah, she did good on the last case. Let's hire her to the CIA. So it's what? And so, but it's a TV show. You suspend your disbelief. I don't know about this. It was hard for me to suspend my disbelief, but once I got into the season, I think things started to pick up. But those first couple episodes are just okay, what's this trying to do? And then we finally get there, and it's oh, that was interesting. I don't know if it took this many episodes to get there, but you get there. And, you know, this still has an amazing opening credit sequence, amazing music. I love the music in this series. And this is, in general, an interesting show. I just don't know how much I love it and really think it needed another season. And you know what? It's probably going to get another season. So I'm sure I'll be coming back on at some point to talk about season 3 of The Flight Attendant. But those are my thoughts on the second season of The Flight Attendant. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.